Welcome to this interview. This is for the Land Talk 2019. So I'm going to start with a quick question here. What do you remember from when you first moved to Bloomington?
The railroad track.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed walking, and I worked at a factory along the railroad track on South Morton Street, and as you know now, it's a walking trail, but long before it was a trail, I used to use it to walk all over town because I enjoyed walking on the rails and walking on the ties, and so I remember the railroad track very well.
Awesome. Thank you. What's your favorite part about living here in Bloomington?
Well, there's a lot. I've always liked that we had a good hospital, what used to be called Bloomington Hospital. Don't ask me why, but I just always felt safe knowing there was a good facility here for taking care of people. I do like the fact that Bloomington is so diversified and has a wide range of restaurants. I like the way Bloomington's laid out. I used to run a lot, so I ran all over town and got to know all the streets. And yeah, I enjoy a lot of the architecture, the small hills that we have, the lake. I just think it's a nice town to live in and raise your family in.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. What kind of animals have you personally noticed in Bloomington?
A lot of deer.
Yeah.
Way too many deer, a lot of squirrels, rabbits. Chipmunks. Of course, birds. Don't know if those are really animals or not.
Yep. Those are animals.
Yeah, I guess that. Well, and we have crawdads, of course, in the streams and little fish that
I think those
me and my kids have played with.
or something like that, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, just like a quick question about like general knowledge of like the area. Do you know what kind of trees and like plants are in this area? Like, could you name a couple of those?
Lots of maples and lots of oak trees, pin oaks.
All right. Have there been any large storms in the past 20 years that you've lived here?
Oh yeah.
Could you elaborate on at least one or two of those that you remember of?
I remember this one was probably 20 years ago or more, but there was an ice storm, and it was so bad that, and I've only seen one like this in my life, it was so bad that people on the highways actually just had to stop and pull over because you couldn't even stay on the highway or travel at all in it. It was a really bad ice storm. And then we had some tornadoes over the years, but nothing that really touched down, but one that almost touched down a few years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, that did lots of damage, ripped lots of roofs off of houses and broke lots of trees right through the middle of Bloomington and on the southwest side. Those are the two that I remember. And we've had some really heavy rains too and caused lots of flooding in our area.
What do you miss most about living here 20 years ago? Like what's changed about Bloomington that you liked then, or like what's better back 20 years ago?
Well, we had a good Mexican restaurant and a good Italian restaurant 20 years ago.
Well, there you go.
Other than that, I don't mind all the changes, and I don't particularly miss anything else. Most other things in Bloomington have not been taken away, but rather enhanced by the community that we live in and preserved and cared for. And so not too much has really gone away other than things like that. So
Awesome. One final question for you, just to get those brain gears going. what do you like most about living here now?
Truthfully now, what makes me happy living in Bloomington is the church that I belong to. The particular congregation and church that I belong to has a huge presence in Bloomington. Lots of good people that help me to support my family and feel a part of the community and feel a great deal of brotherhood with a lot of people and other families that live here. We really enjoy that and benefit greatly from it.
All right. Thank you very much. This has been a Land Talk interview conducted by Mr. Patrick Weaver and me, and the subject, Mr. Hal Weaver over here. Thank you very much. A handshake in here. Good little conversation there. Good interview.
Thank you, Patrick.
Shout out Dr. Milks. You're your best biology teacher. Yeah, that's about it. And that's all I have for you guys today. Gang, see you later.